feelings, thoughts, or concerns do you have about the Anacostia River, its surrounding communities, or both?
The first thing that comes to mind of things that I feel about the Anacostia River is really proud of the progress that has been made. I know that it has a history of being, very heavily polluted, and there's a lot of efforts going into making it a much more habitable place for wildlife and for humans to utilize the river. As someone who, uses the river for my own recreation, and as someone who just appreciates the wildlife that lives in and on the river, I just feel excited for the direction that it's moving in and proud of the work that's already been done.
What motivates you to take action to protect the Anacostia River?
Well, the Anacostia is an old river. It's a slow and lazy river. It flows across pretty much flat land. It's easy to abuse a river like that. And historically, lower income populations were relegated to some of those areas. And we are living today with the legacy of disparate treatment of populations and unequal access to resources. So I'd like to see more justice around those issues. And we are seeing some progress in those areas. It's a beautiful river. It's a very beautiful river. And I've felt privileged to live next to it.
In what ways do you typically interact with the river or surrounding communities?
We live a block away, and it is our practice, unless weather prevents us from walking, a loop that basically consists of from the Navy Yard across the 11th Street Bridge through Anacostia Park, across the Frederick Douglass Bridge. We get a multitude of very scenic vantage points.
We just had a ready-made place to go outside for an hour or so every day. It really saved my sanity. I can't overstate that too much. Really, it was great.
To be that close to nature in the heart of DC is really reminds you that there was this earth long here before this city came about.
What are your thoughts about recreation in and around the river, specifically swimming?
Recreation brings people, and people then will care about the river. A key indicator of how the community can interact with the river is when it's healthy enough to swim in. It just gives us a sense of a healthiness that we can be in there.
If you go out there during the summer, you're going to see folks directly in the river, in the water, just trying to cool off. I fully support trying to clean up sources of pollution that have kept us from having an organized event for the past several years. But it's also important to recognize that swimming in the river is happening now, whether it's sanctioned or not.
Are there any additional comments that you'd like to share?
There's a ton of adventures and a ton of new ways to look at your landscape and your community that getting on a trail or walking the river exposes you to. So looking at our world that maybe we take for granted or think we know like the back of our hands from a new perspective just gives us a deeper appreciation for things that might be growing right under our noses, might be flowing right under our noses. So
Something that I would love to see even more of is people getting out on the water to learn about the environment, because as our river health continues to improve, that's something I hope that more people will want to engage with, just going fishing and swimming and watching birds around the river, and really just appreciating the ecosystem that our river supports, and making that ecosystem healthier and healthier as we go by protecting the species that live there.
I found the Master Naturalist program and I got really excited because you learn so much about the watershed, but also about how to be an environmental steward. I think that whatever industry you're in, just being involved in that educational kind of programming that you guys offer and also volunteering is really important.
A water environment, the river just does something good for our sense of beauty and calm and serenity and healthy mental state. And there's just something different about the light in a healthy river. You just see the glow off the water, the reflections, and that doesn't happen in a dirty, polluted environment. It takes a lot of work, and the community can be the source of that work and taking care of the river. So people come out and do those river cleanups, and let's take care of the river. Let's everybody show up.
It's good to live in a community where there are people invested in protecting and preserving what's here. The Watershed Society and its team are doing the Lord's work, setting high standards and goals for local governments to meet. Rivers, to me, is such a calming influence. It can give you peace and center you and quiet you despite the storms of the day. Having access to it is just a bonus that I appreciate every time I get a chance to be out on the river.